to your Cosmic Energy Tune-Up, Leo Season 2024. This was a very successful tune-up. This one was really awesome. They all are pretty dope, but this one was very awesome. The intention for this tune-up appropriately was Nen baptism. And in really, first of all, this is a time capsule, so I highly recommend doing this at least 7 times. And as you do this, just be fully intentional. Make whatever intentions, affirmations, and come into these amplified results, because doing this with the 130 plus people, of course, exponentially amplifies the energy of just focus. You don't have to do it even 2 times, but if you do this at least 7 times, yeah, I think you'll see exceptional results. Mind you, just take an intention, be fully intentional, and just focus on that intention. You just doing this once, you're Gucci. And I would like to share, before we go into these card interpretations, what I picked up. So right off the bat, this is happening right as the moon is going to be new and as Mercury retrogrades back into Leo, right? Which means over the rest of this weekend and into next week. Okay. Here we go. And for the rest of Leo season, we're awakening and activating supernatural talent. However, look forward to certain upgrades coming in the form of, now, because you're integrating recent evolutions and activations, there we go. We're moving forward into the integration and harvest of miracles. That is, if you think from now until November, we're harvesting hardcore. Yeah. Even coming into December, opposite Jupiter. So this is going to be you coming into a real-time expression of your personal experience of miracles. All right. And this is going to really break down your experience a lot of how. And one of the mechanics, so there's going to be like several noticeable upgrades you'll be integrating and harvesting right now, literally right now, activating with the new moon. And one of the for sure facets of this, given that you have been integrating and aligning with your will and intent, and this Leo of I will is really debuting this for you, instant manifestation. This is going to ring true for you if you've already started to experience it. Now, the mechanic of this instant manifestation is actually an optical illusion where, you're going to really notice causality around you intending for things and them happening. Now, it's an illusion because you already have it all now, but it's going to appear to you in increasing fashion and consistency through Virgo season that you are aligning. This is not in any way a new phenomena at all. This is just more alignment with your will and your core than you are used to, because since last year, you have greatly evolved who you are at your core. And you are wearing new clothes that fit you. And in doing that, you are for the first time getting ready to harvest the further integration of the effects of this. So over the rest of the Leo season, this is going to be you integrating through this illusion. Then through Virgo season, you are analyzing how this is an optical illusion versus what's real about it. And then through Libra, you're transforming that perspective to now see more of the truth of it, aligning so much more with the instant quality of manifestation. All right, so that's going to be like the gradient and shift through here, but that's one of the first things to look forward to. It's not really off of you doing anything. This is where it's very illusory because of your psychological sense of time. This is you aligning through and past that, where you're going to realize you've always been doing this, but you're more aware of your own personal process, your own mindset and consciousness through this process that makes this more of a talent for you. And this is going to really mark pronounced creativity, especially when you take into account the details, which makes Virgo the necessary bridge every year to these higher phases. But yeah, this is not only really dope, but now as we kind of take into account the Uranian and Taurus element and energy here, there's a very unconventional nature of how this is sprouting. So it's going to be very unexpected now. All right. And that's what I'm saying, harvesting miracles. You're getting ready to really experience how much more development that you have actually gone through. And to many people from the outside looking in, it may not necessarily really makes it, like, from the outside looking in, people are probably going to think you've come into an overnight success, or like you probably sacrificed your soul to the devil, or you had some kind of magic spell, because they're not going to comprehend how most of the development happened within you, like roots that bury very, very deeply into the ground. So they're expecting to see, on the surface, a huge tree bearing like crazy fruit. And they don't realize now, because of the effects of these roots, the major storm that devastated everything did not really touch you. And now all that development within is sprouting, but with just the most powerful grounded foundation. So look forward to this very unconventional sense of grounding, because you're having to ground more supernatural aspects of yourself. But I promise you, this gets even better. Okay. Um, turns out, and turns out, right? The vision that I saw was three gifts, three treasure chests. You have three treasure chests. Right now, I want you to get super excited, because two of those treasure chests are already open, especially around what is, we could say, the third eye and the crown region. This is like a third eye crown chakra message. Two of those treasure chests are already open, but you're not even aware of it. Some of you are fully aware of it, and you're not fooled by the seeming potential of what you see, because you know there's more. So the whole point about this is, two of these treasure chests are open right now. Two very deep wishes that you have been wishing for have come true. One of those treasure chests was open years ago, and the other second treasure chest was open like a year ago. Now, what I'm picking up is fear and apprehension. Like, there is a deep threat, I think, representing you coming into this reward, that made a collective force around you um almost obscure your vision around what this treasure is. So it's like, the feeling I get from this is some of you don't even know that you already have a wish come true, and it's not your fault. It's almost like the Truman Show, where like there's an orchestrated collective influence almost as if to turn your victory into a loss because they're that much of sore losers. But it's not really in a petty way. It's almost as if their existence is threatened relative to this. So what's happening is a disillusionment and dispelling. The two treasure chests being open represents you're going to be overjoyed to discover that at least two specific desires have already been actualized. It's going to feel like you opened your bank account and you didn't even know you had like $500,000 there. You didn't even know that you had like a separate account for $500,000, maybe because the influences around you almost convince you to believe that, oh, that's nothing. Like you didn't win anything from that. You know what I mean? Not realizing, some of you, I feel like this correlates to like a profession, a job, like you secured something that at the time maybe didn't look like much, and yet that's the reason why you're set for life, something like that. So this is very important because through the rest of this Leo season, you're completely unveiling this. You're completely unveiling what these are. One of them is like something you have, the other is like a skill, right? And this is for others of you, you know that these are your treasure chests, but you weren't fooled when others maybe convinced you or attempted to convince you to or suggest that, oh, that's not even a treasure. That's an okay, so for others of you, this one also kind of fits. So if this first thing that I just said, the first scenario where it's like you didn't even know you had like two treasure chests open, you weren't aware of certain wishes. I want you to comment dispel. And then this next scenario, if this applies to you, you knew you had treasures, right? And they were of the highest value, but you had haters. And so they try to make it sound like, oh, that's not really shit. You know what I'm saying? And you were made to feel crazy. Like, wow, this is, I want you to comment treasure if this applies to you. It's like, wow, you really think that's valuable. Only now for it to, for you never needed proof, but now you're seeing more, it's like from outside of anything that could be manipulated. It's like, boom, it's like an alien kind of invades and it's like, whoa, this is the most valuable treasure ever. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not about you being chosen or picked, but the thing is, like, this is really dope. Like, I'm seeing that you've always had an unfailing belief and understanding of your literal value in ways that pissed people off who gained anything from seeing you as less than you are, from you giving away your power. And it's like the fact that you even have this treasure kind of invalidates a lot of bullshit that has been believed or said about you. And that crushes and shatters certain people's belief systems, BS. And this is why, there was this concerted effort and it was really just a, stopgap measure, And yeah, for some of you, this treasure is a connection with higher powers, with higher power, with the higher power. So yeah, um, I want you to get excited because this is not just one, this is two. There could be a delayed effect on it that you had that the effect isn't there anymore, especially with this retrograde. So I really want you to get excited. I think before you even go to sleep tonight, you're going to be more fully realizing what these gifts are. And now, this third gift is a life changing milestone victory that could have never been. I'm getting the energy here. We had to deliver this to you personally because we knew that there would be interference here. So this is going to shift the status quo for you again. If you just had a milestone victory, this is something even different. This third treasure chest is, first of all, is opening right now with this new moon. So you already, that's the feeling. It's like you already have two, but for some of you, it's like you're realizing it again for the first time. Imagine looking at a gift that you're realizing for the first time, but you always had, right? And then for others of you, it's like a two gifts that you always knew had value, but now you're realizing it's even more valuable than you thought. And then a third gift that is coming seemingly out of nowhere, that's really just going to flip the world around you. Okay. So that's really awesome. Now, as we get a bit deeper, the tune up was also sponsored and sponsoring a clapback. Okay. So any anybody who's ever had like a negative intention willfully, anyone who unconsciously or consciously has been used as a vessel to antagonize you, to see you as less than you are, to psychically attack you, to, of course, psychologically manipulate you, they're dead. Now let me kind of explain. The energy that was projected to you was transmuted and used to fuel not only more energy in the intention, but now to clap back. This is also reflecting from those who have blessed you, who have actually been in a position to see you win, that have aligned with you positively, challenged you for better, for worse. You're going to really amplify this with the 130 plus people who watch. But this is a very serious clapback because it's opposite Pluto and Aquarius. So there was a depth to this that represents not only individually, but socially through cultural themes, as well as collectively, the domino effect that's going to really crescendo. And this is going to align with so much of these upgrades you're stepping into to really step forward. Much protection. It gets even deeper. Now, in going through the solar plexus and the sacral, there is an authority and a command that the more you really decide and command what experience you're stepping into is what drives this instant manifestation. And you actually, and I'm not saying this as a principle, it's something that you're going to really experience comes from the work you've done over the beginning to now of this year. So the more authority you step in, the better. And when I got to the root, I felt unadulterated fear for you. Okay, fear of you. So the root chakra message was to stand in your power. When you get that fear projected at you because you're standing on your authority, just sit in your root, sit in your power, and it's going to exponentially energize you. And this is really, really, really not only grounding this authority, it is terrifying and makes shaking in these boots those forces that are instinctually wanting you to give your power away by mocking what you say, by ad hominem you, by giving strawmans and red herrings because they have to feel better than somebody. So in order to put you down for them to feel better, that's really their MO. So you're really coming through this. So the whole theme of this is willpower and strength. So you're really going to see the fruits of your strength, and I'm very excited. Now let's see what message we have. The bottom card, the underlying theme is a supernatural breakthrough tip. So let's see what message that gives us. We do have here, of course, the Emperor card. This is quite literally the theme of everything I was talking about. Stepping into and establishing your authority. I have chills. This isn't coming out of nowhere. This is the successive integration and harvest of the supernatural energy and willpower you have effectively manifested and developed and cultivated. So you are literally understanding the potency of your authority to make an intention and not go back on that. If you had to see it through, even if it meant death for not, you're going to realize there's a force behind that. And this is putting, shout out to, you know what I'm saying? Space Ghost, Space Pirate. You know what I'm saying? There's an authority with which you're going to be able to command your intentions, and you're going to see instant. All right, instant. And it's not, you're not even doing it because you want it instantly. It's like you just know that the time doesn't even matter, but that authority is going to really strengthen. So what you're coming into this from is the moon. The moon card is this very important decision to really follow your inner path and to not be influenced by society's expectations relative to the traditions you want to really follow or not. The moon card is the development of your psychic abilities, and in integrating your delusions and illusions, this helps you understand what is your psychic ability. This also represents dreams for some of you that you're coming into much deeper understanding of. But yeah, the moon is you coming out of this sense of confusion that through that helped you understand what is beneath the surface, as things aren't what they seem. And so at current, we do have the high priestess. So far, this is definitely talking about the intuitive revelations that are very afoot, and embracing immortality is very, very important. So with that being said, the moon and the high priestess is talking about supernatural psychic powers, and the moon card is like going through one's, mirror world, like the ancient one had pushed Doctor Strange's soul out, and this caused him to really refract his subconscious musings in an experience that completely went outside of the boundaries of what's logical. Because I mean, that whole experience, you could say, happened in his imagination, but the high priestess is now being able to cast magic through that understanding, use these receptive musings to practice a form of spirituality that has its basis in reality and draws from the spiritual, the breath, but also is intuitive as fuck and very psychic as fuck. So the moon and the high priestess is definitely a mastery of your psychic abilities that with the emperor speaks of conquering and commanding. Okay, so this is a rabbit hole of synchronicities that you are the conductor for, commanding this symphony. And moving forward, we do have the death card, baby. So coming through the rest of Leo season, you're driving forward this, you know what I'm saying, deeper integration to full on transformation. All right. Unrecognizably. And the beautiful thing about this, guys, is this is silent power. This is having you pronounce silent power. Those who are yapping their mouths and screaming and yelling for people to pay attention to them and look at them, be the weakest people. It's those of you who move in silence like a G. It's those of you who are able, well, it's not about who or not, right? But this is you coming into the silent declaration of your force, your Nen, your Ki, your ability to affect cause just by making the decision. All right. This is going to show you that you work with an invisible power. You have an invisible influence. Intention is invisible, regardless of how it is you make it visible. This is really going to, yeah, this is going to take it there. So I think that was fucking awesome. Um, Once again, there are certain things you've done that are so psychic it went over your head. You ever read a book, a poem, you watch something and it's like, damn, that went over my head. Damn, that went over my head. You know what I mean? Or you say something, it goes over their heads, right? You did that to yourself and other people. You did that to yourself. Some of you did it to other people and you didn't do it to yourself. Some of you did it to yourself. Some of you showed yourself something, and every year you get more insight from it. It's like you're going to start to realize the rabbit hole of depth of certain things you revealed to yourself before that you thought you understood, but now you're like, oh my God, this completely went over my head. And some of you are trolling yourself like real time. And your subconscious is talking to your heart, and it's clowning your conscious like, look, My consciousness doesn't even get it yet. My conscious self don't even get it. Look, went straight under their radar. So this is all just going to holy shit. Like it's all just going to like holy shit. And this kind of represents certain aspects of your gifts. Now, a major reason because of this is some of you have been getting gaslighted. Like some of you have been positioned strategically around people, or there's been strategic positioning of people around you so that you don't have the environment to foster these gifts. So being in the environment that's going to encourage you to, challenge yourself more, you're around people who actively suppress this. All right. And whereas like some of you are outright creating brilliance, like you're doing things that are literally unexplainable, and people are looking at you like that's delusional. Like what are you doing? Out of ignorance. Some of you don't realize it's out of envy and jealousy. So if you've been feeling this powerfully, I want you to comment. um I was gonna say gaslight, but I want you to comment um breakthrough. Basically, if you've been feeling this, it's because the power that you have within is terrifying. It's a lot bigger than you may be able to process. And the collective influence that you are experiencing is a collective metaphysical influence that can use humans, animals, experiences to filter through your perception to get through to you. It understands your potential beyond the time space illusion that you experience, and it's doing whatever it can to change the timeline. So, for those of you who are going through this, like you're literally not on the verge of breaking through anymore. You're feeling it because you broke through. So really keep that in mind. And yup, it's definitely enabling you now to kind of experience the onslaught and counterattack form of this. Basically, if you've made it to this stage of the Hunger Games, they were supposed to have killed you by this point, and you're still alive. So they're cooked. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tune up. I hope you enjoy these upgrades, and you guys stay blessed. And until next time.